ho, ho, ho. It's alive. I got it set in there. Really fills up that run stand. The nice thing about GM is the bell housing in the back is the same as my scatter shield I had on there for the small block Chevy. So the rear bolts of the bell housing back bolted up to my plate. The front's going to be another situation. There is a couple of mounting specs or spaces on the front of this front cover. I think I'm going to come across with a square tubing and just weld in or fabricate in a front mount for this thing. So I'll get that done and then we'll try to get this thing fired up. Well guys, we're almost there. I still got to get an exhaust on it. I was able to fabricate a front mount on this thing, so I could have done a better job of this, but this is basically only going to happen one time. It's not like I'm going to build a lot of these, so we kind of got this science project going on here. But this is real heavy wall steel, and I've got some really good welds on it. So I've got the front of the motor pretty secure, and then of course the back of the engine. I also took this is actually a support bar off of a Ford LTD. So I welded it onto my supports here. So we got this thing pretty secured. The other problem is if you notice I got a bucket down here with some oil coming out. I got to take this filter housing back off because it started leaking like a sieve when I tried to prime the oil pump. Now I know in the earlier video I told you I was going to reuse the seal in here. I actually didn't. I got a new seal with the filter. But it's leaking for some reason, so I had to get another filter, or another seal rather. I got a new one for it. I'm going to replace that. What's really cool about this is if you have a priming tool for a small block Ford, a 351 Windsor, it actually fits perfectly on the oil pump shaft on this motor, and you can prime the pump, and you can actually rent this at a parts store. So, all right, so I'm going to change this this seal, and then we'll give it another go. Alright guys, so I got everything wired up. I got this distributor in, which I know nothing about. Got the coil on, got battery power, got the carburetor on, and I have starting fluid. There's no water in it, there's no gasoline hooked up yet. I don't even know if we got fire here, so let's find out what happens. Here we go. Oh, it's alive. Alright, let me button the rest of this up and we'll get this thing going. Alright guys, so here's the deal. Got the hoses and the cooling system ironed out, got a water pump belt on it. Hooked the fuel line up to this carburetor, and this carburetor is leaking fuel from just about every single possible place that it can leak fuel from. So, the carburetor's coming off and we're going to rebuild it. I know some of you are out there thinking, you probably should have rebuilt it in the first place. Yeah, I know that, but I figured I'd take a chance. The guy said it was on a running engine, and so apparently it was running a long time ago because all of the seals are gone. This thing's leaking like a sieve. Alright guys, so we're here at Muffler Masters in Glendale, Arizona. This is actually 6814 North 55th Drive. This is one of those shops that I like to plug because they really do good work. I've had these guys do a lot of stuff for me over the years, and they're really into custom exhaust systems. They do 4x4s, they do hot rod stuff, they do stock stuff. and they really, the prices are reasonable and the quality is second to none. This is a really good alternative to go into one of the cookie cutter stores. I won't name them, but they are chain muffler stores. I like to plug this kind of a business because basically these guys are into high performance, custom type work, and the service is great, the quality is good, they understand high performance exhaust systems, and they can really help you out. So I highly recommend this place. These guys do a lot of customized stuff. You can see there's people that trust them with their hot rods, and so they've got all kinds of specialty high performance vehicles and exhaust systems that they're doing. They've got state-of-the-art equipment, and they do a lot of custom work. So I highly recommend this place. If you guys are in the Phoenix area and you never need exhaust system, any kind of an exhaust system, this is the place to go. We came to get our flanges done here. They were able to make these flanges. I really didn't have the correct exhaust system on my run stand for this thing, and so we were able to order these. He was able to order these flanges, he welded them up, and now we're going to get back to the shop and we're going to get this baby running. Okay, so we got these flanges that we had Muffler Masters make up for us, and we got the right bolt pattern. I've never been a big fan of running engines with just exhaust manifolds on them because of the back pressure issue, and in my opinion it puts the valves too close to the air being pulled back up in there on decel. So I had these flanges made up, and I think I'm going to fit my mufflers to this because we want this thing, we want to be able to hear the motor and not the exhaust. Once we get it running, I'll probably pull the mufflers off and make some noise with it. So we're going to get these on, and then we'll get this thing going. If that isn't pretty freaking cool, I don't know what is. The only way I could have made this cooler, I think, is if I had this pipe come straight up like this and made a zoomie out of it. I could have done that, but hindsight's 20/20, I guess. All right, so what we'll probably do when we go to run this thing is I have these stock GM mufflers here. We will probably just go ahead and run it with this muffler on here, just because I want it to be fairly tame as far as sound goes, at first anyway. It kind of looks like a science project, but I think it'll work. I'll get the other side on and we'll get the carb back on and go for it. For our carburetor, we took a ride over to Rod's Carburetor and Distributor here in Phoenix, Arizona. I tell you, this is one of the best places I've ever found for carburetor rebuilding. They also do fuel injection. They have a little run stand of their own with a Chevy on it so they can test their distributors and carburetors. I really like to promote these types of shops because they do really good quality work. You can see they got a great inventory here. They also do fuel injection. They have the equipment for doing fuel injectors, fuel injection setups, distributor curving. This place is just absolutely great. So they are located in Phoenix, Arizona. Their phone number is on the screen here. They are on 27th and McDowell. They also ship stuff all over the country. So if you want top-notch quality work, this is the place to go. I could have done this carburetor myself, but I wanted it to be perfect. So we got the carburetor. They did a fantastic job, and then we headed back to the shop to get her running. Okay, gentlemen, we're back. I've got the carburetor on. I've got the fuel system hooked up. The carburetor, I put pressure to it. It is not leaking at all like it used to. You know, you may have wondered why I took this to Rod's Carburetor rather than build it myself. I've built carburetors before, but I'm mediocre at it, and so I want this engine and everything on it to be top notch because a customer or one of you viewers is probably going to purchase this thing. So that's why, you know, I wanted to take it to an expert, make sure it was done perfectly well, and it's definitely not leaking like it was. So I've got the this thing ready, so let's hit the key and see what happens. That is why you have an expert rebuild your carburetor. This thing purrs like a kitten. All right, I've got a couple other things to button up here, but then we'll fire it up and get it going. I do have high zinc break-in oil in it, but the cam is not new. It's already broke in, so we don't really have to like rev this thing up. Man, this thing runs great. Couple more things to button up, and then we'll uncork these exhaust pipes and make some noise. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this series. Make sure you go to my Patreon site. The address is below, and support this channel. Man, that thing is hot. So the motor turned out great. This engine is for sale for those of you that are interested in it. And it's got great oil pressure. The temperature is perfect. Runs like a top. I will talk to you very soon, I promise. I got more coming up on the 502 build very soon. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.